Hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Mocktail Mondays, where I'm going to be creating quick and easy mocktails for you to impress your friends and family with. So today I'm going to be making a mango elixir, and I actually originally made this with my friend when we were cooking together. We were cooking some Indian and Vietnamese food, so I was like, let me get something that really complicates it. Or not as complicated, sorry, complements it. But to start off this recipe, we're going to be needing mango pulp or rus, and we can make this, you can either make this fresh or you can get a can like I did. So we're going to start off by getting a cup of that and just pouring it into your blender. So you got to get your blender out also. So after pouring all of that in there, I am also going to get 1 tablespoon of grated ginger. I have 1 tablespoon of grated ginger, which I already grated pre in advance because I think that's what you gotta do nowadays. I don't want to keep you guys here just watching me cut it for a while. So I'm gonna pre-grated ginger, and I'm gonna do a half cup of water, which I also had poured out, and 1 tablespoon of honey. And all of this is gonna go into the blender to create the first half of the mango puree we're going to need for the rest of the recipe. So after you pour all of that in there, you're going to just want to blend this all up, and after blending it all up, I will show you what to do next. Alright, so post blending it should look something like this, and another thing I want to suggest to everybody is to just use as much honey as you would actually like to use, because I only put a tablespoon because I'm comfortable with that level of sweetness, so you kind of just have to kind of eyeball it. So next we want to strain it out, so I have a strainer, and a lot of people won't have a cocktail shaker. Last time I made this, it was at my friend's house, so I had a cocktail shaker then, but to make it more accessible, you can use a water bottle, or in my case, I'm using a blender bottle. So after that, you kind of just want to pour your mango puree through, and it might not sieve all the way, so that's why I just have a spoon with me to just kind of sieve it through a lot of times. But it also depends on how thick you want it. The only reason I'm doing this is because there is a lot of ginger strains in there, so you kind of do want to strain it out, because ginger bits and pieces could possibly get into your drink, but a lot of times that isn't the case, and most of the time the drink just kind of falls through automatically on its own, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. As you can see, it's kind of going through right now. Okay, so after straining it, I ended up with at least this much, which is about 300, and you can use whatever method of straining you prefer. I just happen to have my handheld one, so I just kind of did that with a spoon, and I just strained it. The important thing to ensure is that there's no ginger bits in there. So after that, I'm going to introduce lime juice. You can use fresh, or I use bottled, but you can use either or. So we're going to take about a half cup of that, just pour that in there. And along with that, we are going to be getting agave syrup. So we want 2 tablespoons of agave syrup, but if you guys don't have agave syrup at home, you can always replace it with more honey to make it sweeter if you'd like. Of course, that is all up to you if you want to use agave syrup or not. And then, following the agave syrup, we're going to introduce 2 spices, ground cardamom and ground ginger. So we want to take a 4th tablespoon of each of those, so a 4th tablespoon of ground ginger and a 4th tablespoon of cardamom. And now following that, we want to tighten it up and literally just shake it. Just imagine that whatever device you're using, whether it's a water bottle or a blender bottle, we just have to think of it as a shaker, and we just have to slap it and just shake it like that. And what we should end up with is just a mango puree. So this is going to finish off the rest of the mango puree that we have. And now it's time for the actual assembly of the mocktail. Alright, for the assembly, I brought out a glass that I put in the freezer for not that long of a time, but I probably should have put it in there longer. And now I'm going to take the mango puree that we made and just kind of fill it about halfway, or maybe a 1/4 cup of the way. Following that, you're going to use sparkling water, so I prefer Liquid Death, although, whatever brand of sparkling water really works for you. And we just want to kind of pour over it, getting that fizz right up to the top. Now the amount kind of depends on the glass you have. I have a bigger glass. When I made it the first time I had a smaller cocktail glass, so I was able to make multiple servings, but you know, it just depends on how much you have at the end of the day. And now I'm going to quickly stir. And just to kind of top it off, I like to put a little bit of chili powder or cayenne pepper, whatever one you prefer, and just kind of top it off with that just to give it a little bit of a kick. And the end result should look, I hope. And with a little bit of ice, it can look mine. I know that I just didn't have all the ice I needed to kind of plate it and present it properly, but this is pretty delicious and I really enjoyed making this. And I definitely recommend you make it to go along with cuisines that have a lot of spice in them, but I also recommend that you can make this for your friends and family, as it is really simple, easy, and delicious.